Good day, teachers and panels. I'm Mariel Fuertes
And I'm Kathleen Kate Mauricio
from BSC3, and we're going to present our research entitled An Analysis on the Learning Opportunity and Technological Accessibility in Remote Learning Setup. Chapter 1. The Problem and its Setting. The students today are facing the world where technology is deeply integrated into the fabric of daily life. The prevalence of technology ownership and uses is already very high among students. Using such gadget has become a trend in today's culture for literacy and knowledge. In the field of education, the technology play a big role to attain quality education. The students' accessibility to it and different usage of technologies really could affect students' learning. The uses of these technologies prepare the students to be an active learner of the 21st century and to be globally competitive. Technology gives an important contribution that affects students' attitude toward learning. A study conducted by Baitak, Tarman, and Ayas found that most students believe that their learning is improved by integrating technology into classroom curriculum. It was also noted that using technology in school makes learning interesting, enjoyable, and interactive. The purpose of this paper is to study the students' access to technology and its impact on their learning. The use of technology in the students' learning process has become very common these days. Technology contributes on how the learning is accessible in a convenient way. On the other hand, technology has its different impacts. It could be an advantage or disadvantage to students' learning. This research aimed to determine the learning opportunity and technological accessibility in remote learning setup. Statement of the problem. This research aimed to determine the learning opportunity and technological accessibility in remote learning setup of the tertiary students of Nueva Ecija University of Science and Technology, Gabaldon campus. Specifically, it seeks to answer the following questions. How may the profile of the respondents be described in terms of age, course, year level, economic status, demographic profile, grades during first semester? How may respondents' access to technology be described in the terms of availability of hardware devices and gadgets, software applications, internet access, technological literacy? How may the respondents' attitude towards the use of technology be described? Is there significant relationship between the academic performance of students or the respondents and their access to technology? Is there significant relationship between the students' attitude and their academic performance?
Chapter 4, Presentation, Analysis, and Interpretation of Data. Table 3, Profile of the Respondents according to age. Table 3 shows the respondents' distribution according to their age. Between the age group of 17 to 22, there are 243 students, 35 students who were 23 to 27 years old, 1 student who is 28 to 32 years old, and 1 student who is 33 and above years old. The above data shows that the students who were 17 to 22 years old dominates the respondents, and 1 student proved that despite of his age, it is not too late to go back to school. Table 4, Profile of the respondents according to their course. The Table 4 shows the respondents' distribution according to their course. There are 280 respondents consisting of 110 students were from BSA, 46 students were from BSHM, 46 students were from BSIT, 55 students were from BEd, and 23 students were from BSE. Tertiary students who were dominated by the students from BISA or Bachelor of Science in Agriculture. Table 5, Profile of the respondents according to their year level. So the Table 5 shows the respondents' distribution according to their year level. There are 280 respondents consisting of 80 students were first year, 118 students were second year, 66 students were third year, and 16 students were from fourth year. Table 6, Profile of the respondents according to their economic status. Table 6 shows the respondents' distribution according to their economic status. There are 280 respondents consisting of 201 who have a monthly income of 5,000 pesos and below, 56 who have a monthly income of 6,000 to 10,000 pesos, 12 who have a monthly income of 11,000 to 15,000 pesos, and 11 who have a monthly income of 16,000 and above. Table 7. Profile of the respondents according to their demographic profile. Table 7 shows the respondents' distribution according to their demographic profile. There are 280 respondents consisting of 272 students who were living in rural area and 8 students who were living in urban area. Table 8. Profile of the respondents according to their general average during the first semester. The Table 8 shows the respondents' distribution according to their general average during the first semester. There are 280 respondents consisting of 2 students who have a general average of 1, 7 students who have a general average of 1.25, 11 students who have a general average of 1.5, 72 students who have a general average of 1.75, 87 students who have a general average of 2, 53 students who have a general average of 2.25, 35 students who have a general average of 2.5, 9 students who have a general average of 2.75, and 4 students who have a general average of 3. Table 9. Respondents' access to technology in terms of availability of hardware devices and gadgets. So the Table 9 shows the respondents' access to technology in terms of availability of hardware devices and gadgets. There are 280 respondents consisting of 197 students who have smartphones, 65 students who have laptops and smartphones, 6 students who have laptop, PC or desktops and smartphones, 3 students who have PC or desktop and smartphones, 3 students who have laptop, smartphones and tablets, iPad or iPad, 2 students who have laptops, 1 student who has tablet, iPad, 1 student who has PC or desktop and tablet or iPad, and 1 student who has PC or desktop, and 1 student who has laptop, PC or desktop, and tablet. So the Table 10 shows the respondents' access to technology in terms of availability of software applications. There are 280 respondents consisting of 29 students who uses only Google Classroom, 26 students who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, Zoom app, Facebook Messenger, Gmail, and Google Drive. 24 students who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, Zoom app, Facebook Messenger, Gmail, Google Drive, and Google Forms. 22 students who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, Facebook Messenger, Gmail, and 19 students who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, Facebook Messenger, Gmail, and Google Drive. 12 students who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, Zoom app, Facebook Messenger, and Gmail. 12 students who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, Zoom app, Socrative Student, Facebook Messenger, Gmail, Google Drive, and Google Forms. 10 students who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, Zoom app, Facebook Messenger, Gmail, Google Drive, and Socrative Student. 8 students who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, and Facebook Messenger. 8 students who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, Google Forms, Gmail, and Facebook Messenger. 8 students who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, Google Forms, Google Drive, Gmail, and Facebook Messenger. 7 students who uses Google Classroom, Gmail, and Facebook Messenger. 7 students who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, Zoom app, Facebook Messenger, Google Forms, and Gmail. 6 students who uses Facebook Messenger, 6 students who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, and Zoom app, 5 students who uses Google Classroom and Facebook Messenger, 5 students who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, Zoom app, Facebook Messenger, Google Forms, Gmail, Google Drive, and Quizzes. Okay, 4 students who uses Google Meet, Facebook Messenger, Gmail, and Google Drive. 4 students who uses Google Meet and Google Classroom. 4 students who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, Socrative Student, Facebook Messenger, Gmail, and Google Drive. 4 students who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, Zoom app, and Facebook Messenger. 3 students who uses Google Classroom, Facebook Messenger, Gmail, and Google Drive. 3 students who uses Google Classroom, Zoom app, Facebook Messenger, Gmail, and Google Drive. 3 students who uses only Google Meet. 3 students who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, Zoom app, Socrative Student, Facebook Messenger, Edmodo, Google Forms, Gmail, Google Drive, Kahoot, and Quizzes. 3 students who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, Zoom app, Socrative Student, Facebook Messenger, and Gmail. So 2 students who uses Google Classroom, Facebook Messenger, Google Forms, and Gmail. 2 students who uses Google Classroom, Facebook Messenger, Google Forms, Google Drive, and Gmail. 2 students who uses Google Meet, Facebook Messenger, and Gmail. 2 students who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, Facebook Messenger, Google Forms, Gmail, Google Drive, and Quizzes. 2 students who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, Google Forms, and Gmail. 2 students who are using Google Meet, Google Classroom, Zoom app, and Gmail. 2 students who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, Zoom app, Socrative Student, Facebook Messenger, Edmodo, and Gmail. 2 students who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, Zoom app, Socrative Student, Facebook Messenger, Google Forms, Gmail, Google Drive, Kahoot, and Quizzes. 2 students who uses Google Meet, Socrative Student, and Facebook Messenger. 2 students who uses Google Meet, Zoom app, Socrative Student, Facebook Messenger, and Gmail. 1 student who uses Google Classroom and Zoom app. 1 student who uses Google Classroom, Zoom app, Facebook Messenger, and Gmail. 1 student who uses Google Classroom, Zoom app, Socrative Student, Facebook Messenger, and Gmail. 1 student who only uses Google Forms. 1 student who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, Facebook Messenger, and Google Forms. 1 student who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, Socrative Student, and Facebook Messenger. 1 student who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, Socrative Student, Facebook Messenger, Google Forms, and Google Drive. 1 student who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, Zoom app, Facebook Messenger, Gmail, Google Drive, and Quizzes. 1 student who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, Zoom app, Facebook Messenger, Google Forms, and Quizzes. 1 student who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, Zoom app, Socrative Student, Facebook Messenger, Google Drive, Kahoot, and Quizzes. 1 student who uses Google Meet, Google Classroom, Zoom app, Socrative Student, and Facebook Messenger, Google Forms, Gmail, and Quizzes. 1 student who uses Socrative Student and Facebook Messenger. Table 11. Respondents' access to technology in terms of Internet source. Table 11 shows the respondents' access to technology in terms of availability of Internet source. There are 280 respondents consisting of 213 students who only use mobile data to have an access to internet. 19. Students who only uses modem wireless to have an access to internet. 12 students who only uses modem wired. 10 students who uses mobile data and modem wired. 9 students who uses mobile data and modem wireless. 8 students who only use packet Wi-Fi. 5 students who uses mobile data and packet Wi-Fi. 1 student who uses mobile data, modem, wireless, and wired. 1 student who uses mobile data, packet Wi-Fi, and modem wired. 1 student who uses mobile data, modem, wireless, and packet Wi-Fi, and 1 student who uses modem, both wired and wireless. Table 12. Respondents' access to technology in terms of technological literacy. Table 12 shows the respondents' access to technology in terms of their technological literacy. In general, the respondents agree on the following statements. I can create documents using MS Word. I can create flyers using MS Word. I can create publications using MS Word. I can organize and manipulate data including formulas using MS PowerPoint. I can organize graphic tools using MS PowerPoint. I can organize data using MS Excel. Example, I can compute grades using formulas. I can store data online using OneDrive. I can create extensive posters. Example, menus for restaurants, tarpaulins using MS Publisher. While the respondents disagree on the following statements. I can create extensive publications, for example, newspaper and magazine, using MS Publisher, and I can create extensive flyers using MS Publisher. The data implies that the students are familiar on using the following educational applications like MS Word, MS PowerPoint, and MS Excel. On the other hand, the students are not familiar to use MS Publisher application. Table 13. Respondents' access to technology in terms of technological literacy. Table 13 shows the respondents' access to technology in terms of their technological literacy. The data shows that the respondents strongly agree on I can communicate and collaborate with my teachers and classmates using my smartphone, iPad, and tablet. I can edit videos using my smartphone, iPad, or tablet. And I can record my performances using my smartphone, iPad, and tablet. While the respondents agree on I can access online references, answers my activities using my smartphone, iPad, or tablet, and I can download educational applications using my smartphone, iPad, or tablet, and I can create documents using MS Word on my smartphone, iPad, or tablet, and I can take and edit photos using my smartphone, iPad, or tablet. The above data shows that the students are using smartphone, iPad, and tablet mainly for communication, editing photos and videos. And this only implies that students are actively using technology, particularly for communication and entertainment purposes. Table 14. Respondents' access to technology in terms of technological literacy. Table 14 shows the respondents' access to technology in terms of their technological literacy. In using the Google Meet application, the students agree on I can create new meeting on Google Meet. I can send an invitation link to my classmates and teachers using Google Meet. I can send message through Google Meet's in-call messages. I can go back to the meeting when I get disconnected. I can share screen to my teacher and classmates on a meeting while discussing the lesson. I can use various reactions or emoticons to actively participate during the discussion. I can turn on and off my mic I can turn on and off my camera in Google Meet while having a meeting, and I can turn on and off my mic in Google Meet while having a meeting can be interpreted as strongly agree. The data reveals that the students are aware of using Google Meet, but they are not skilled. They are just used to turning the mic and camera on and off. Table 15. Respondents' access to technology in terms of technological literacy. Table 15 shows the respondents' access to technology in terms of their technological literacy. I can retrieve assignments, tests, or other course content for future reference, and I can share video links or images from other websites with my classmates in the Google Classroom can be interpreted as agree, while I can submit my assignments such as videos, PDFs, and Google Docs, and I can view assignments, announcements, and other resources in a class resource page can be interpreted as strongly agree. The data shows that the students agree that they can retrieve previous works and can share videos or images using Google Classroom. On the other hand, they strongly agree that they can submit and view assignments and announcements. Table 16. Respondents' access to technology in terms of technological literacy. Table 16 shows the respondents' access to technology in terms of their technological literacy. I can find my personal meeting ID under New Meeting. I can send an invitation link to my classmates. I can customize my background picture in Zoom application. I can send message through Zoom's in-call messages. I can go back to the meeting when I get disconnected. I can turn on and off my camera in Zoom application while having a meeting. I can turn on and off my mic in Zoom application while having a meeting. I can share screen to my teacher and classmates on a meeting while discussing the lesson. I can use various reactions or emotions to actively participate during the discussion. I can use whiteboard in demonstrating the lesson in Zoom application. And the respondents agree on the statements above. Students are competent in terms of using the Zoom application. Table 17 shows the respondents' access to technology in terms of their technological literacy. The respondents agree on the three statements. I can access the link of the test using Socrative Student. I can take a quiz using Socrative Student. And I can follow guidelines and instructions while having a test using Socrative Student. Table 18. Table 18 shows the respondents' access to technology in terms of technological literacy. I can join a class or subject using Facebook application by joining into a Facebook group. I can upload my video performance using Facebook application. I can send my activity files using Messenger application. And I can send messages, pictures, and videos using Messenger application. The students strongly agree on the statements above. Facebook and Messenger are applications that are intended for communication and entertainment. Aside from that, it can also use for educational purposes. And the above data shows that the students are proficient in using this application. Table 19 shows the respondents' access to technology in terms of their technological literacy. The students disagree on, I can create my own profile using Edmodo. I can upload my assignments using Edmodo. I can take a quiz using Edmodo. And I can send message to my teacher and classmates using Edmodo. And I can submit my activities using Edmodo. The data shows the students are aware that there is an Edmodo application, but they do not have it and didn't use it. Table 20 shows the respondents' access to technology in terms of their technological literacy. The statement, I can create and share survey forms using Google Forms can interpret as agree, while I can take a quiz and test using Google Forms is strongly agree. The table shows that students are proficient in Google Forms when taking a quiz and test. On the other hand, they are competent when creating and sharing survey forms using this application. Table 21 shows the respondents' access to technology in terms of their technological literacy. Both I can create an account on Gmail and I can send message using Gmail got the weighted mean of 3.44, and I can send pictures using Gmail, and I can send files, PDFs, or Google Docs using Gmail can be interpreted as strongly agree, while I can send videos using Gmail as agree. The students are proficient in using all the features of Gmail application except when sending videos using this application. Table 22 shows the respondents' access to technology in terms of their technological literacy. The respondents agree on the following statements. I can store files online using Google Drive, and I can create folders on Google Drive to organize my files, while I can share links to my teacher and classmates so that they can access files, got the verbal interpretation of agree. The data reveals that the students are aware and well-skilled in using Google Drive when storing and organizing files and creating folders. On the other hand, they also know how to use it when sharing links. Table 23. Table 23 shows the respondents' access to technology in terms of their technological literacy. I can create game quiz using Kahoot, I can take a quiz using Kahoot, and I can take a test using Kahoot can be interpreted as disagree. The data shows that students are aware that there is Kahoot application, but they don't have it and didn't use it. Table 24. Table 24 shows the respondents' access to technology in terms of their technological literacy. The respondents disagree on the following statements. I can create a game quiz using Quizzes, I can take a quiz using Quizzes, and I can take a test using Quizzes. The data reveals that students are aware that there is Quizzes application, but they don't have it and didn't use it. Table 25. The Table 25 shows the respondents' attitude towards the use of technology. The respondents agree on the 10 statements above. I enjoy learning using my smartphone, iPad, tablet, PC or desktop, and laptop. I enjoy developing and using the new features of my smartphone, iPad, tablet, PC, desktop, and laptop. I am confident having the discussion in the class using those devices, and using my smartphone, iPad, tablet, PC, desktop, laptop makes me feel excited to learn, and I actively participate in online class discussion using Google Meet or Zoom application. I am more motivated when I am able to see my teacher and classmates when having an online class discussion using Google Meet or Zoom application. I am comfortable in learning using my smartphone, iPad or tablet, PC or desktop, and laptop. With the use of my devices and educational applications, I learn better. I can easily express myself on essays and reflection papers when I'm sending it through online. Educational applications in my smartphone helps me collaborate with my classmates. The data reveals that students have positive attitude towards the use of technology in education. It shows that the students are still motivated and creates a positive response with the use of these technological tools, especially in our current situation. Table 26. The Table 26 shows the relationship of the respondents' academic performance and their access to technology. The table shows that using smartphones, Facebook Messenger, Google Forms, Gmail, and Google Drive have a significant relationship between the respondents' academic performance and their access to technology. While the Google Classroom, Zoom app, Socrative Student, Edmodo, Kahoot, and Quizzes are not significant. The data implies that if the students are more skilled with the educational application, the more they can be motivated to perform well in their academics. It also shows that not all educational applications are significant because students do not have it and they are not proficient in using it. Table 27. The Table 27 shows the relationship of the respondents' academic performance and their attitude. It shows that there is a significant relationship between the students' attitude and their academic performance. The data implies that if the students have positive attitude towards technology, therefore it can be very useful in their education, and as a result, they can have better performance in their academics.
Chapter 5. Summary of findings, conclusions, and recommendations. Sociodemographic profile of respondents, distribution of the respondents according to their age. Findings. Most of the students are between the age group of 17 to 22 years with the percentage of 86.8%. 12.5% is between the ages of 23 to 27 years. 0.4% between the age of 28 to 32 years, and 0.4% between the ages of 33 and above. Conclusions. The findings of the study, most of the respondents are from the age group of 17 to 22 years. Distribution of the respondents according to their course. Findings. There are 110 respondents in Bachelor of Science in Agriculture with a percentage of 39.29%, Bachelor of Science in Hospitality Management, and Bachelor of Science in Information Technology have 46 respondents, each with a percentage of 16.43%. Bachelor of Elementary Education has 55 respondents, with a percentage of 19.64%, and Bachelor of Secondary Education has 23 respondents with a percentage of 8.21%. Conclusion. The BSA students dominated the number of respondents. Distribution of respondents according to their year level. Findings. The first year student has 80 respondents with a percentage of 28.57%. Second year has 118 respondents with a percentage of 42.14%. Third year has 66 respondents with a percentage of 23.57%. And fourth year has 16 respondents with a percentage of 5.72%. Among the 280 respondents, a majority of them are second-year students. Distribution of respondents according to their economic status. Out of 280 respondents, majority, 71.8%, has monthly income of 5,000 and below. 20% is between 6,000 to 10,000 pesos. 4.3% is between 11,000 to 15,000 pesos. And 3.9% is between 16,000 and above. There are 272, 97.1 students who are living in rural areas, and 2.9% are living in urban areas. It is safe to conclude that the economic status and demographic profile are factors that affect the students' accessibility to technological tools and applications. Distribution of respondents according to their grades during the first semester. Among the 280 respondents, the majority, 31.1%, got an average grade of 2, 25.7% got 1.75, 18.9% got 2.25, 12.5% got 2.5, 3.9% got 1.5, 3.2% got 2.75, 2.5% got 1.25, 1.4% got 3, and 0.7% of the respondents got an average of 1. The majority of the respondents are neither smart nor lagging behind when it comes to academic performance.
Respondents' accessibility to technology, availability of hardware devices and gadgets. Among the 280 respondents, the majority, 197, has a smartphone. 65 of them have laptop and smartphone. 6 of them have laptop, PC or desktop, and smartphone. 3 of them have PC, desktop, and smartphone. 3 of them have laptop, smartphone, tablet, and iPad. 2 have laptops. 1 has tablet, iPad. 1 has PC or desktop, tablet or iPad. 1 has PC or desktop, and 1 has laptop, PC or desktop, and tablet. It is safe to conclude that respondents have available hardware devices and gadgets. Majority of them have smartphones, which are basic need for learning. Since the majority of the respondents uses smartphones in learning, the researchers recommend that if the teachers makes a requirement for the student, it is the one that can be done using smartphones so that many students can comply, and which can also be done and submitted using other gadgets. Respondents' accessibility to technology software applications. Most of the respondents are only using Google Classroom, and the majority is using the following educational applications: Google Meet, Facebook Messenger, Google Forms, Google Drive, and Gmail, while the Zoom app, Edmodo, Kahoot, and Quizzes are least used by the students. It is clearly stated that students have different applications for them to access their lessons. The researchers recommend that teachers will continue to use educational applications that students already have and also educate them for better use of the apps. 2.3 Internet Access. Out of 280 respondents, 213 students are only using mobile data. 19 students are only using modem wireless. 12 students are only using modem wired. 10 students are using mobile data and modem wired. 9 students are using mobile data and modem wireless. 8 students are only using packet Wi-Fi. 5 students are using mobile data and packet Wi-Fi. 1 student is using mobile data, modem wired and wireless. 1 student is using mobile data, packet Wi-Fi, and modem wired. 1 student is using mobile data, packet Wi-Fi, and modem wireless. Lastly, 1 student is using modem, wired, and wireless. Based on the findings of the study, majority of the students use mobile data for internet access, while others have the ability to access the internet using various devices. For recommendation, teachers can use educational applications that can be accessed using mobile data so that the students can conveniently comply with their requirements. Respondents' accessibility to technology, technological literacy. In general, the respondents agree that they are knowledgeable and skilled in using MS Word, MS PowerPoint, and MS Excel except MS Publisher. When it comes to educational applications, students are not knowledgeable but not expert. When it comes to technological literacy, students are aware and skilled in using those devices and applications. So, for recommendation, our administrators may conduct webinars for students that aim to teach them to be proficient in using educational tools and applications. The respondents' attitude towards the use of technology. The students have positive attitude towards the use of technology in education. They are still motivated and create a positive response with the use of these technological tools, especially in our current situation. It is safe to conclude that students have the ability to adapt changes, especially in the use of technology in learning. Since the students are capable on adapting on the changes in the learning environment, the researchers recommend that parents will continue supporting their children and also make their home conducive for learning so that they can further improve their learning. Number 4, the relationship between the academic performance of respondents and their access to technology. There is a significant relationship between the students' academic performance and their access to technology. Students' access to technology is an important factor that develops students to have better academic performance. The community may provide seminars to educate parents on how important the accessibility of technology to students' learning. Number 5, the relationship between the respondents' attitude and their academic performance. There is a significant relationship between the students' attitude and their academic performance. The students' attitude towards the use of technology in learning is important, and it is found significant to their academic performance. It is highly recommended that teachers and parents should properly teach and discipline students in using these technologies in a knowledgeable way for them to have positive attitude towards the use of it.